Alright, and we're back. So in the last episode, Balthazar killed Vlast on top of this altar up here. Hard to say exactly what this altar was. It might have been here in Guild Wars 1, but I can't actually remember it. But I played the game a long time ago, so it may very well have been. But yeah, unfortunately, Aurene decided to kill off Vlast way sooner than I think they should have. Not opposed to him dying, necessarily, but like, way sooner than they should have. And, alright, so I'm gonna contact Tyria to tell her about Vlast, and like also gonna find some crystals which will flesh out Vlast's character. But yeah, Aurene, the same problem as Lazarus. Aurene just kills off their characters way too soon. They introduce amazing characters and then bam, gone immediately. Like, it's just same thing with Lazarus.
To hold the weapon is to hold the fate of Tyria in your hands. The power to change the shape of the world. Potent enough to fell the Elder Dragons. Its might should not be taken lightly.
You'll hear no argument from me.
Alright. What's we doing? Stop that way.
My divining rod says there's water nearby.
Cool. And there's some awakened holding some prisoners over here. And also this, is, I can't remember what, is this a Giganticus lupicus skull? Anyway, there's a lot of like these Leviathan skull-like creatures in the Crystal Desert, so it's big hints that this place used to be a sea once upon a time. This used to be known as the Crystal Sea, but after the war with Abaddon, it dried up. So that's
We're locked in here. Please help.
I have better things to do, I'm afraid. Yeah. So what was I saying? Oh, also, I forgot to comment on this at the end of the last episode. Vlast said, I fear he may get the weapon in the crystal we already found up on the altar. So, what weapon could he be talking about? Well, we know from the Edge of Destiny novel that they had a spear made out of Krakatorric's blood, or at least Glint did. And Ritlock nearly put it in Krakatorric's throat, but because he wasn't stunned long enough, because Logan wasn't there and therefore Snap died, they got away. So it's likely that Balthazar's after the exact same thing.
It was created so mortals could do the work of dragons of our line. To combat cataclysmic power and prevent the destruction of all life.
Following in his mother's footsteps.
Okay, let's move over that way and contact Tyria here. Use this first. Combo here, and off we go. Nice little pond there. Some of the maps are so beautiful. It's annoying because I can't, through YouTube compression and also to some of my recording settings, I can't get all the quality to come through, which is very irritating because what I'm seeing is just, it's miles better, and I don't even have that good of a graphics card. Like, when I do, my god.
He seeks it for the wrong purpose. We are not ready.
We? He's talking about Aurene.
Yeah, because, Glint was all about stabilizing the Elder Dragon cycle through her Scions, most likely. So, we need something to take the power of the Elder Dragons, I guess. Have I talked about that yet? I'm not sure. But, that's probably what Vlast is referencing. Because Aurene's absorbed a lot of magic from Mordramoth, so, like, maybe that was the plan. But there's definitely not enough Scions. Glint had a lot more eggs though, so it's possible that in her lair there's a hell of a lot more, but she hasn't had the opportunity to send them where they need to be, or at least raise them effectively. Vlast is the only one that's hatched so far. Hard to say why that is, like why she hasn't had lots of baby dragons running around for years, but who knows. Maybe she didn't want to split all the magic amongst all of them, like she wanted one strong enough to survive on its own, so she channeled it all into Vlast and kept the other eggs waiting until she could find more power. That would make sense.
My sister, the mantle is heavy. At times, too heavy to bear. But Mother believed. So we must endure. If you describe yourself...
The rest must be corrupted.
Corrupted or painful? Like you said, if you discover yourself. And that's when it stops. Alright, let's contact Timmy while we're here.
Timmy, this is the commander.
Something's up, isn't it? Kate says the mood in the egg chamber has taken a troubling turn.
What do you mean?
Aurene's not herself. She started moaning like she was in pain, but she won't let anyone near. She actually snapped at her exalted attendants, angrily. The whole city's talking about it. What's going on?
Balthazar is a lot tougher than he was before. He swatted us down like we were nothing. And he killed Vlast. He was aiming for me, but Vlast took the hit.
Oh, wow. That explains why Aurene's so agitated. She's grieving for her big brother, the poor thing. I'll liaise with Kate and the Luminate. Together, maybe we can calm Aurene down.
Sounds like a plan. I'll check in again soon.
Bye.
Yeah, I suppose I forgot to take into account that we actually did stand a decent chance of killing him if he was as strong as he was before. Because we did some pretty serious damage to him when he was disguising himself as Lazarus. But now he's a lot stronger. Also, this is the Tomb of the Primeval Kings. It's a very big location from Guild Wars 1. We'll be seeing more of that later. But that's spoiling too much. Let's find the rest of the crystals. I'm just going to go up here, and then I should be able to use the Griffin more effectively to cover more ground. Or air, to be precise, sort of. Is that? I don't know. How do words work? Alright. Alright, up we go, and then if I just recharge, and go up as far as I can now. Wow, this looks... Ooh. I haven't seen this view before. And whoop. And hopefully I don't smack a rock on the way down. Let's go. Yeah, you get some really good views when you use the Griffin. And my god, it's so much easier to get around. Where is that damn crystal? Is it at the bottom? Yeah. I'm just gonna see it from far away.
If you found these crystals, it means I failed before we met. For this,
Kill them all!
I apologize.
Ready for anything!
I would have enjoyed the company in the
Faster.
desert skies.
I'll destroy you! She'll never know her brother.
He sounds lonely, like, listen to that. Like, he says he would have enjoyed her company, like, he's so sad. Like, let's talk to this person while we're here.
No!
Stop! The tunnel's closed. There's no passage in Ultimate Hawk this way. You can thank the Branded. And no, we're not going to clear it out. We don't have the resources to move this much rock. Are you here just to warn travelers? Yes, I'm sure they'll put up a sign soon. But for now, I'm here to warn people. I'm here to warn travelers against trying to force their way into the tunnel. Yes, people have tried. No, it didn't work. I'll leave the collapsed tunnel alone. Yeah, so the city of Evanhawk, this road right here led somewhere through this region, and there must have been a tunnel, I guess, that came somewhere along here, or maybe the whole thing was a tunnel. But it goes right underneath the brand, so they seem to have caused some damage and collapsed it. Because I guess the Branded would have been migrating south along the brand in order to meet up with Kragatoric, at least to follow him and marshal around him. So it's possible they did some damage as they went by. But that's why we, the real reason is just like gameplay reasons. But story-wise, that's one of the reasons we didn't just go this way to get to the Crystal Desert. Alright, where to now? There's some ogres here. Yeah, so there's an ogre village up top. How far am I going? I might just waypoint. Yeah. Oh. I know it's not very immersive because I'm not meant to have been here yet, but I'm more just here for the actual story itself, rather than an authentic playthrough. Oh, there's a little trade measure here. Yeah, this is the village where they train the Springers, so this is where you would get one if you didn't already have one. I may have to do some quests here anyway. I'm not sure. I'll find out at some point. What if we go to find another crystal?
I've chosen a champion. They will need this when the world tips. The death of a jungle dragon has accelerated our sire's rise.
If only I'd known.
Yeah, so it seems the Elder Dragons work in stages. They have their first awakening, in which they do a hell of a lot of damage. Then they seem to calm down a bit, like their minions spread out and try and conquer more territory. But I guess they find a good spot where there's enough ley lines and whatnot, and they just sit there for a while, and then eventually they go on another rampage again. So they sort of like they expand, they stop, then they expand again, like repeatedly. But Krakatoa got a big boost of magic from Mordremoth dying. Like Aurene wasn't the only one who managed to take some of that. Like all the dragons got something, as we saw with the Divine Touch branded and Ice Brood. And like now we're sort of lamenting, like if we'd known that, maybe we would have tried to weaken Mordremoth first and like I don't know, not kill them, because we seem to just be making the situation worse, powering up the individual dragons, so we're not really actually taking away the damage.
Commander, calling Timey. Come in, Timey.
I feel like we just talked.
Okay, so Timey just shut up and she was just replaying old lines. I just came along this bit while she was talking. I was up there before. And we have another crystal shard here.
The god of fire continues to pursue me. I fear he may get the weapon. If he does, the consequences will be unpredictable.
That's putting it lightly. All the more reason to get to it first.
Okay, so at this point I could go and gain access to Glint's lair, just go straight over here. But these crystals, trust me, they are really interesting and Glint and learning who Vlast was. And if you think about it, he's one of the biggest characters in the franchise, like or at least he could have been. He had so much potential power. So I don't know. I think it's worth learning about it. And yeah, whoever did the writing for the stuff for Vlast did a really good job.
I would have destroyed it, but Mother forbade me. She never foresaw this crisis. The right path eludes me.
Yeah, so Vlast didn't trust that there was a weapon around it there. So what? Because that weapon was for mortals to use, but he was going to destroy it. So he didn't trust mortals to get the job done. So he was just planning for he and the rest of Glint's Scions and Glint herself to go it alone. I mean, maybe it would have worked, but probably not. Like we had to put a lot of resources into taking down the dragons we have so far. But yeah, it's like Glint never expected someone to come in and to kill the dragons who would just make things worse. She didn't foresee one of the human gods intervening. Which is surprising, because she had a closer relationship to the human gods than any of the other dragons. Like, given that she had such close ties to the Path of Ascension.
I feel trapped in this role. This legacy. I yearn for freedom. But I cannot turn away from these responsibilities. To do so would doom the mortal races to certain destruction. And perhaps myself as well. But then again, there is a kind of freedom in death. Is there not?
So very dark there. Because if you think about it, Vlast was born into this duty. He's never really been allowed to live his own life. So death is the only freedom he really sees, which is pretty dark. So I guess in a way he got what he wanted. But he was duty bound to continue his mother's work, and also was to a degree self-preservation. But he's lonely and depressed, at least since his mother died. Alright, where else are we going? So there's 3 more. Okay. I'm gonna cut across to. No, I'll go down here first, and then I'll come back up to the top. Let's jump on this. Oh wait. Oh shit. Alright. I'll just roll a beetle there. Oh god. Okay, that's fine. We're good. This fog is pretty intense, I don't really. It's Actually, no, I feel like the smarter decision is to go this way. So, off we go. I don't think the order we find the crystals matters, which is good. Up here. I think they all just play in a predetermined order no matter which order you find them in. I often got angsty about that. I was like, oh, it might be misunderstanding things. Alright, so it's up here. Still can't do it. Alright, whatever. Let's jump down like this. Play along. These areas just look so good. I can't wait for Guild Wars 2 to get the DirectX 12 or 11 or whatever it is, or whatever they're working on right now. Someone else can tell me to say what that is. Much better than
Kill them all!
But like essentially graphic quality, a little
That's the stuff.
graphics quality will go up a lot. Graphical quality. Anyway, what's this? Oh, it's a player.
Aurene continues to grow in power. Your mother's death remains unavenged. The time comes to...
Yeah, having seen these a few times, I don't think these memories are corrupted. I think he's just in so much pain when he relives these things that the crystals can't withstand it, and they just shatter. Because it's like, Vlast seems to have constantly been thinking about how his mother's death has gone unavenged since she was killed by Krakatoric when she and Destiny's Edge fought together. So he's just been angry this entire time. And if you think about it, everyone's always said Vlast just appears out of nowhere constantly to kill the branded, and then he just bounces. So, yes, like he hasn't been powerful enough to go for Krakatoric himself, or he would have. But like, so the best thing he can do is just keep killing the branded. What? He's really a tragic character, but he's also a very dark one. There's a few more of these crystals will show us. Where is this crystal? I'll probably just cut till I find it. Oh, but this is the Choya village, by the way. It's a very funny place. By the way, these Choya seem to be indicating they need help, but it's not clear what exactly they need or want from you. And let me just see if I can find the one to talk to. I love this area. Let's see why. Are you asking me for something? Okay, well, take care? Yeah, so you actually have no idea what the hell they want you to do. The Choya don't speak, like, the common language. They just go, blah, blah. And you're like, cool. Finally, I found it. Alright, here we go.
I wonder, sister, are your exalted attendants shaping you as they shaped me? Have their words taken hold of your heart? Do you feel the weight of those words grow heavier with every passing moment? Some advice. If you grow weary of your caretakers, offer a hiss or a swat of your tail and watch them scatter. Do not let them or yourself forget what you are.
And now we're seeing a much more ferocious side of Vlast. Like, he, to an extent, he seems to view himself as what, superior to them, or at least he wants the world to understand, particularly his exalted caretakers, who are like, you are the chosen light of Glint. You're here to save the world and protect the mortal races. And he's like, fuck off. Yeah, like Vlast seems to be very much embracing the idea that dragons are brutal and savage creatures. Like that's what he feels he is, and he doesn't want to be anything different. Like dragons are a very different creature to mortals.
Your champion fills me with curiosity. Perhaps because my own never appeared. The Exalted gave me purpose, but no true connection to it. I hope you fare better, my sister. I hope you feel full of purpose. Most days, all I feel is anger.
And there you have it. Unless there's any more, no, that's all of them. How awesome was that? Like that was amazing. If you didn't look at those all those crystals, all you'd know as Vlast is, oh, he's Glint's child and he dies. The end. Like, and that's all Aurene ever really used him for. But he's a character who is so filled with pain and rage, who's been told, you have to save the world. It's entirely on you. You can't fuck up or billions of people die. And he had that from the second he was born. And then the only thing he really cared about in the entire world, his mother, was killed. Like, ripped away from him. And he couldn't even avenge her because the thing that killed her was so much more powerful than himself. Like, he just had to suck it up and deal with it. And on top of that, Glint specifically came to care for mortals because her telepathic ability allowed her to feel their feelings. And that allowed her to develop empathy for them, and then sympathy, and then she helped them. Vlast never had anything like that. Like, sure, he's been around mortals and probably has some telepathic ability, but he never bonded with a champion like Aurene is bonding with us. Like, she seems to very much to be very sweet and to care about other people, at least for now. But like, Vlast, he never had any of that. Like, he just had a bunch of people tell him, you need to save the world, the end, and you need to care about these people, but he didn't. Like, he never met any of them, and he was such an elevated creature in intellect, in his lifespan, like, in his power. So, he's on a whole other level, and he just can't connect with them, so he doesn't care. And then he even talks about in one of the other crystals, like, oh, yeah, like, the Elder Dragons will kill all the other races, and maybe me. He said, like, so he doesn't even know if he even needs to fight. Like, he could just keep his head down, the dragons will destroy everything and go back to sleep, and he can survive. Like, so he questions whether he should even bother doing all this. So, in the end, the only reason he's doing any of it is because he's angry and depressed. And in the end, all he ever wanted was just to fly free with his mother and his sister. And he never got that. Instead, he was hunted down, we turned up, trying to help him, and despite everything he wanted, despite just all they ever wanted to do was just to fly off into the sunset, he still gave his life to save ours. Right up there. Like, that is an amazing character, and I really wish they gave us more of him. But that is a problem with Guild Wars 2. They kill off characters way too soon. But anyway, that's all for this episode. Next up, we'll be journeying into Glint's lair, into Prophet's Shadow, to find a weapon that can kill Krakatorek, but we have to keep it from Balthazar, or everything that both Vlast and Glint have fought for will be annihilated.